you got going on? Alright. And instead, let's see. But if anybody is watching, hey, how are y'all doing? Clear possible action regulators have participated in investigating the events. What you are about to read is not in podcast. I think I might do this one. Alright, y'all, so hey. I don't know what this is about. Jennifer Trustees disappears. This wouldn't be a bad one. But also, hey y'all, thank y'all for joining. What y'all got going on right now? And where y'all watching from? I want to see something like this. Why is y'all doing that? Hey everybody that's joining. What y'all got going on today? And where are y'all watching from? Dang. Yeah, I like true crime, so let me see. Sometimes when I work, I just, look at true crime videos or I read true crime stories. Man, y'all just don't be understanding. What's a true crime case that was simply too much to handle? I didn't see a lot. A lot of them. They getting me tied up with this true crime stuff. Alright. I got a coaching call at 5 o'clock. Okay, one coaching session at 5. Okay, that's one. Got another coaching session at 8. Ooh. And then I got my last coaching session at 11. Okay. Alright. Now, let's get into this. Oh, Lord. In late 1992, partial remains of Cheryl Gossett washed up on the beaches of Los Angeles. Her murder remains unsolved. Oh my gosh. In 1988, U of A student Diane. Hey Daisy, how are you, love? Was abducted from her dorm. 5 weeks later, her body found abandoned in a remote. Oh my gosh. That is not good. Oh wow. Some of these is so terrifying. Look at the shoes. Oh. How can somebody be so cruel and just kill somebody like that, kill a whole family? Even with babies. Like, who does that? Missing 16-year-old girl found dismembered after meeting man on dating app. See what I'm talking about? Like, oh my gosh. Murderer found after 50 years on the run. I knew they ain't stopped searching. I knew. That joint do say mom, but it ain't. It's a cocktail. Goodness gracious. What is this? What is in here? Whoever's watching me, do you have a YouTube channel? Oh, see now, I can't read that. Some of this stuff is hard to read. Bartholomew. Paul Bartholomew. Did his wife kill him? I think I've seen this before. Wow. The tragic murder of Deanna. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I'm going to read this. The tragic murder of Deanna M. I learned about this case on the show Deadly Women. On the way back to town. I thought you was already in town. Okay, the tragic murder of Deanna M. I learned about this case on the show Deadly Women, Season 7, Episode 17, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. So I wanted to do a write-up on it. Ooh, background. 17-year-old Christina S. had everything a teenage girl could wish for. She was blessed with both beauty and money. Katrina lived in a wealthy Los Angeles neighborhood with her mother, Angelique Bernstein, and her younger half-sister, 15-year-old Sabrina Bernstein. By all accounts, Angelique spoiled her daughters rotten and overindulged them with all the luxury monies can buy. Okay. Growing up, Katrina was a fairly normal child, but by the 8th grade, things started to take a turn for the worse. She became increasingly angry, started missing class and having confrontational episodes with other students. She also began abusing drugs and alcohol. See, when you get around the wrong people and you get around the wrong crowd, stuff like that happens. That is not good. So she was good. She was brought up wealthy in a wealthy family, but after she got older and she got into the 8th grade, she started hanging around the wrong people, started using drugs, That is not good. That's how it starts. That's exactly how it starts. Shortly after withdrawing from Harvard Westlake, the most prestigious school in the city, Katrina was sent to a therapeutic residential facility in Utah, where she was involved in more altercations with girls and attempted to run away. Her mother decided to bring her back home for good, despite the school's recommended stay of 9 months to a year. After a therapist recommended that Katrina attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, her mother responded that she would not allow her daughter to associate with lowlife. How can you say that? How can you say that while being okay with your daughter using alcohol and using drugs? So they're trying to put her in a program that will help her, but instead you're saying no. I'm not gonna put her in that program with low lives. She needed, so why wouldn't you? That's not doing nothing but setting her up for the worst. That's crazy. I wouldn't do that. If I knew my daughter was on drugs and she was using alcohol, I would put her in a program knowing that it would help her. I wouldn't sit there and not do it. Eventually, Katrina dropped out of high school at the age of 16. While being homeschooled by Angelique, she would sleep all day and party all night. She was put on antidepressants for a sleep disorder, when in all likelihood she just wanted to go to clubs and parties every night. She also recently begun sneaking out of the house and engaging in this indiscriminate sexual activities. Ooh. Oh no. Katrina had even assaulted her own mother on multiple occasions in a family home. It seems that Katrina was a textbook case of a child who needed parental guidance, but was instead allowed to do whatever she wanted. And that's exactly why she treated her mama like that, because her mama gave her a good life. She got around the wrong crowd, started hanging around the wrong people, got on drugs, and while she was in that predicament, they were saying that she needed to be put in a program to help her, and her mom was like, no, I'm not going to put her in them programs because I don't want her in that program with low lives. But in reality, she needed to be there. So now her mama is getting the backfire, because now Katrina is now treating her mama bad. That's not good. That is not good. On the other side of town, 15-year-old Deanna M. was oh Lord, the atheist of Katrina. She was a student of Santa Monica High, where she excelled academically and had many friends. Deanna was extraordinarily gifted at writing. She was also a great athlete and played on the school's volleyball, track, and water polo teams. Deanna came from a loving family. Both of her parents were hard-working immigrants. Her friends called her Daring Deanna because she was known to always stand up for what was right, which sadly may have been her downfall. Oh man, see, that's sad. She was a great girl. She had so much stuff going for herself. She had a lot going for herself, and somebody envied that. I see that now. Somebody envied that because she had the lifestyle that Katrina wanted. And I guess Katrina couldn't get it, so I'm already putting it together that maybe Katrina has something to do with Deanna's death. I've never read the story before, so I'm trying to see if I can play it out as to what's gonna happen. But as of right now, that's what it seems. Events on November 7th through the 18th, 2001. On November 17th, 2001, high schoolers from all over town arrived at a party in Westwood. No parents were home. Approximately 40 high school aged kids flooded the house and yard, drinking alcohol and smoking dope with no adult supervision. Red flag number 1. What could possibly go wrong? Deanna M. hopped off a bus with a couple of male friends. Sabrina Bearstein also arrived at... Okay, so Sabrina is the other one. Also arrived at the party with her friends. Deanna soon noticed Sabrina chasing a boy through the yard and breaking potted plants. This didn't sit well with Deanna. She confronted Sabrina about it and told her to chill and stop breaking stuff. The two girls got into a brief shoving moment leaving Sabrina on the ground and in tears. Okay, now I see where it kind of went wrong. Sabrina and Katrina are sisters. So Sabrina, I was gonna say Sabrina. Sabrina and Katrina are sisters. So that's probably where it started because Deanna went after Sabrina and told Sabrina to stop chasing people and breaking stuff. And when they got into an altercation, Sabrina was the one that was on the ground and in tears. So that meant that Deanna won whatever they had going on. Humiliated, Sabrina went to a corner of the yard and called her big sister Katrina. Ooh. As the party began breaking up, Deanna and others waited in front of the house for their rides. Suddenly, a white car pulled up and out marched Katrina. Who pushed my sister? She shouted. Deanna bravely raised her hand and said, It was me. The confrontation remained verbal, and several minutes until onlookers began chanting for the two girls to fight. Katrina quickly punched Deanna in the chest, and the sisters ran back to Katrina's car and drove off. Deanna stumbled and leaned against a tree, staring off into space and gasping for air. Once the terrified teen witness realized Deanna was bleeding, they didn't call 911. What? Instead, they panicked and drove her to Santa Monica Hospital where she was pronounced dead. Yo, how did that happen so fast? Wow. Oh my, well, I mean, I guess calling 911, it probably would have took more time, so they just took her to the hospital. But, yo, I thought they said that she pushed her in the chest. Wow. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, it says she punched her in the chest, and the sisters got in the car and drove off. Now, all of a sudden, Deanna is bleeding, and, you know, I don't understand. None of the witnesses ever saw a knife during the confrontation. How is this possible? Authorities later determined that Katrina had stabbed Deanna through the heart. What? Oh my gosh. With a T-shaped punch knife. A knife that's purpose is to be concealed in someone's hand. Wow. The next day, at around 2 p.m., Katrina S. and Sabrina Bernstein were picked up from their home by two detectives from the LAPD. During this interrogation, Katrina's speech began to slur, and she told the detectives that she felt sleepy. It didn't take long before Katrina suddenly collapsed and stopped breathing. What? Little did the detectives know that Katrina wasn't just evading their questions, she was committing suicide. Wow. Okay, so you felt bad for what you did to Deanna, so you already know that you're probably going to end up going to jail, so you committed suicide? I don't understand. One can only imagine this young girl sitting in her room feeling so tormented by whatever occurred at that party in her mind that she decides to down an entire bottle of pills. Consumed with guilt, Katrina had taken 43 of her prescribed antidepressants pills that morning. Oh, she was sad about what she did. And she took 43 pills at one time. Half that dose is lethal. And just like her victim, Deanna, no one could save Katrina. No, that's wow. That's guilt. She felt guilty for what she did. She felt guilty for what she did. Within a span of not even 24 hours, two sets of parents have lost their daughters. It's truly unimaginable. Nobody could imagine that what started as a typical Saturday night would end with two girls dead. All the warning signs were there, yet Katrina's rage was never dealt with, and it ended in an unspeakable tragedy. Wow. Also, write a tragic story. I'm not sure calling 911 would have made a difference unless some miracle like less than a minute response time and somebody trained in heart punctures, if that's even a thing. I hear ETA to death after heart puncture is 3 minutes at best in most cases. I went to school with Deanna. We were on the same volleyball team for a few years when this happened. It rocked our house school pretty hard. What happened to Sabrina? She was charged with battery for Kikadiana, and her Instagram is at the Sabrina Tatiana. That's sad. This is so sad, man. At the beginning of 2000, that's crazy. That one is so good. Ooh. It's so strange looking at her Instagram. Coming from money, etc. She looks like a girl who uses drugs and is constantly making bad choices and decisions. Imagine having opportunities and throwing it all away for the degenerate lifestyle. What a mess. I mean, y'all gotta understand what the situation was. Y'all gotta understand what she went through. She lost her sister. And somebody was killed because of an altercation they had. Like, people gotta understand. Of course, she's not gonna be okay with that. And on top of that, she got charged. Come on now. What y'all thought was gonna happen? I completely understand it would have been hard losing her sister and also in that situation, but I don't understand how they were both continually flying off the handle. Perfect example of having beauty, money, and all the opportunities in the world and still ruining your life. Yeah, man. The last time I checked on her IG years ago, she was claiming her sister was actually innocent somehow. I don't know. I couldn't look at it or her. How is her sister innocent? So, how is her sister innocent? So that means when they got into the altercation, did Sabrina do it? And she didn't realize that something was wrong with her until after she got pushed in the chest by Katrina? That could possibly be what happened. I looked at her Insta and it seems like she never learned her lesson from being a horrible person. Absolute crash out who looks the part. They doing her wrong. She's busy posting her knockers up on Instagram. I need to look her up. What they say her Instagram was again? I need to go look her up. Dang it. I need to go on Instagram. Let me see. Dang. I looked at her Insta and it seems like she never learned a lesson for being a horrible person. Absolute crash out who looks the part. She's busy posting her knuckles up on Instagram. If you don't mind me asking, what was she like? And what was it like when this happened? This happened before I was born. Was the main difference between being 18 then and being a teen today social media? Okay. Yes, absolutely. That was the main difference, I'd say. She was really nice to all kinds of different people, although in my opinion, started hanging out with Jack A's by high school. Wow. The next morning after this happened, it was Saturday, I think. I was at school for a sports related meetup, and rumors started flying around that a student had been killed the night before. I mean, it was so confusing how the information was coming in without cell phones. It was mostly spreading by word of mouth. Slowly, we heard details throughout the day, and we were in disbelief. Wow. Then, when the S girl also died, which is Katrina, it was like, what is happening? My time in high school was crazy though. It was a very large school, and with that many kids in LA, crazy stuff is bound to happen. I think in the 4 years I went there, at least 5 students died of various causes. Thank you so much for the response. Did you know any of the witnesses at the party who watched the fight? And did you know of Katrina beforehand, or did you only learn about her after she died? I remember seeing somewhere that she had a pretty big reputation as being a mean girl. I don't think most people at the party knew Katrina well. She went to a different school. She may have had a bad reputation in her circle, but I don't think she was like locally famous or anything. Trouble girls like that were a dime a dozen. My sister was one. I knew the kids who were at the party, but like I said, they were the clique popular kids who didn't talk to people like me. I wasn't even a loser, just a normal kid, but they were snobs. A lot of Deanna's friends really made this event into their whole personality as they got older. I mean, it sucks that your good friend died so tragically. Good is in quotes because their group was like at least 20 people. So how good of friends could they really have been? But for a few of them, like, I think they've blown this even up a lot because they have been living in a beautiful, sheltered, popular bubble until then. Did Sabrina go to your school? No, her and her sister went to a school that was like 30-minute drive away. Dang. Dang. Katrina and Deanna, it didn't even have to go like that. But I mean, it was because Deanna was trying to stop Sabrina from running around and breaking stuff. And she confronted Sabrina, which led to a little confrontation in the yard. Sabrina was pushed. Next thing you know, she went and told her sister, her big sister Katrina. Katrina came back and pushed my sister. Deanna said, me? Next thing you know, Deanna got pushed in the chest, well, punched in the chest. And Katrina and Sabrina left. Then leaving Deanna up against a tree, breathing real hard. Next thing you know, people see her bleeding. Instead of calling 911, they decides to rush her to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. The following day, the detectives came out trying to pick up Katrina and Sabrina. They got picked up. While they were questioning Katrina, Katrina had already took 43 of her pills, which her by that time started kicking in while she was being questioned, where she later passed. And that is crazy. Hmm. That is crazy, y'all. Give me a second, y'all. I said my name. There we go. Let's over to the side. I'm going to get that right there so we need. Alright, so let's continue a little bit further. Okay, I read that. Read that. Dang, for real? I forgot. So I think I need to. Wow in the world. Okay, let's see. All directly related to a complete lack of parental discipline and guidance. Yeah, she was friends with a lot of very entitled popular kids. They probably didn't have the most aware parents. Uh, why is, bro? I didn't put all this. These. That's. I thought. Yeah. I hope somebody get back at like 5 o'clock, maybe 5:36, 6 o'clock maybe. Perfect. That'll be perfect. There's nothing being said right now. All right, let me go back. Yeah, she was friends with a lot of very entitled popular kids. They probably didn't have the most aware parents. They seemed to party a lot without supervision. I know this because we went to the same elementary and high school. What's the problem? When I was in high school, I never went to unsupervised parties, except for maybe once or twice in the summer. Let me think. All right. When I was in high school, I never went to unsupervised parties except for maybe once or twice in the summer. At the last time I felt so uncool and wanted to experience wild partying as a teen, but now, especially after hearing about cases like these, I'm glad I had parents who protected me. Me too. Me too. These 15-year-olds had so much freedom to make bad choices. I didn't even get to. I didn't even get that freedom until college. Nah, I mean it'd be like that sometimes. Dang, holy S, right? Wow, my Saturday, poof, just like that. Why is people saying right up? Like, I mean, I guess it was a little. I don't know how to explain it. Amazing write up. This is such a sad story and could have been prevented had Katrina had the right parental guidance and help. Agreed. It's so sad all around. I can't help but wonder if something happened to Katrina in the 8th grade that would explain the sudden change in her behavior. I guess we'll never know. Her abrupt change in behavior in the 8th grade reminds me of a woman who had her son treated by numerous doctors and nothing worked. She wrote an article, I am Adam L's mother, who had been put on various drugs that only did not help but likely made him worse. After the article was published, a few specialists contacted her and said he was bipolar and offered to treat him. He was stabilized on the right medications. So, one with the same sexual assault? British. What's the school in Utah? Oh. Same place Paris Hilton was sent to by her parents. Wow. Whew. Oh man. uh, Yo, for real, I'm understanding. You should know that by now. Like, what's up? What's up? So, yeah. Now, let's go back. Let me read this real quick. It's rare for murderers to show remorse. Excellent write up. 911 would have been able to. Hold on, let me go back. Let me read it. 911 would not have been able to save her if she was pierced in the heart. Within 24 seconds, a woman ultrasound technician on her lunch break was stabbed in the heart with a tiny knife from the dollar store by a, oh my gosh, schizophrenic woman in a psychotic episode in a drugstore aisle. The victim received a call from a friend who announced she just accepted a new job. When suddenly, as the victim was telling her friend how excited she was for her, she was approached and stabbed in the chest with a knife, which pierced her heart. Over the phone, I understand you too, go, baby. Okay, baby. Where I lost my place. Over the phone, Junior's friend heard her scream. Junior stumbled toward the pharmacy at the back of the store. Help me, she cried out. I've been stabbed. People flocked to her side. The Crown and defense agreed that the perpetrator walked into the store, stabbed the victim with a small knife purchased at a dollar store. and placed the weapon on the counter before walking out of the store. The victim received help and went into her surgery immediately as it happened, within walking distance of a university hospital and in a drugstore with trained medical personnel. But even with all those afforded advantages, wow, she died a few days later. All it took to kill her was being pierced in the heart with a tiny knife. Y'all, that is so sad. The following is a documentary on the case, if you are interested. The murderer was found not guilty by a result of insanity. It took 3 years to even get her competent and stand trial. Yo, that's crazy. She killed her. She really killed her. And they got evidence on her and everything. But she pled not guilty. And she was found not guilty. Hold on. Wow. And she was found not guilty, all because she had schizophrenic, and she was not guilty by reason of insanity. That's kind of messed up. That don't make it. That don't. No. But Tammy wants me to go with her to somewhere uptown to a house she's working on for a man. Okay. Alright. It was 24 seconds of horror that would end the life of one young woman and leave another facing a first-degree murder charge and an agreed statement of facts. Bazir had admitted plunging the knife into Junior's chest, but both the defense and the Crown agreed she was suffering from schizophrenia and commanding hallucinations at the time, and should be found NCR, which is not critically responsible. That is not fair, bruh. How can people kill somebody and be, and not get charged for it all because they want to act like or feel like they have a disorder, so that means it's okay for them to do that. But she already has schizophrenia though, so I mean, I guess that's what counts. She's insane. So all this could have possibly been prevented by Katrina's mother if she had reined that kid in. She had been, I feel like she should have. When Katrina was using drugs, then she should have just let her get in that program so she could be okay and come out alright. But instead, she didn't. Her mom didn't do it. Then Katrina kept using drugs. Next thing you know, now she's being rebellious to her mother. Now she's rebellious to her mother and everybody else. So it's like, she didn't have nobody to control her. She should have been in treatment, and also anyone who calls AA low lives really needs to get a grip and realize that it helps people in all walks of life, and that is also true. I agree with that. Sounds like Katrina, Sabrina, and Deanna all had a major attitude problem. I've read articles that make Deanna sound like she's doing the right thing, but I don't see it that way. Seems like she was starting drama and ended up tragically. If you're reading this and you're a minor who witnesses something that Deanna did at the party, do not get involved. Leave and get help if it's a big deal. Blaming the victim, real classy. It is what it is. Okay, okay, so I'm not trying to blame Deanna, but I can see what this person was talking about, because Sabrina was minding her business. Everybody had got to the party. Sabrina was minding her business and was chasing somebody, and they was knocking stuff over, just running around. Deanna inserted herself in there and was telling Sabrina to stop, which is nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but Sabrina looked at it as, oh, you don't tell me what to do. That started an altercation. Whereas then Sabrina was pushed on the ground. After that, Sabrina left and went to go tell Katrina, which is her big sister. Katrina came, who pushed my sister.
Deanna, admitted that she did it, or whatever the case was. Christina ran up and punched Deanna in the chest. After she punched Deanna in the chest, Katrina and Sabrina got in the car and they drove off. Deanna is left behind out of breath. I mean, I'm talking about out of breath. People didn't realize that she was bleeding in the chest. Like, she had a knife. She had a knife in her hand when she ran up on Deanna, and when she punched her, people thought she punched her, but the whole time she stabbed her because it was a knife. It was a small knife. You wouldn't have known that she had the knife in her hand. That's crazy. Mm. I'm think. Oh, okay. All right. No great loss with Katrina. She was a murderer and spoiled person. Shame about Deanna. Deanna M was gorgeous. This is so sad. She was really, she was, she really was, and smart too. My soul, oh, my significant other went to Harvard Westlake and lived in the area during the same time period. I would ask him if he knew her at all. If he did know her, I'd love to know what he says. I did ask him. He was very straight edge. He was very straight edge kid, and most we had nerdy friends in the valley. It wasn't a crowd he ran with, but he did remember the news story about it. What a sad story. Two lives lost. Wow, I saw this on TV too. This got me wanting to look this up on YouTube, but I need to go to Google it, guys. Hold on. I gotta go to Google. Where my Google at? Where my Google at? Hey, where my Google at? Where? All right, so I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna look up Deanna M and Katrina B. Yeah, I need to see what was really going on. Which I mean, I already know, but still. But I can't find my Google, so I'm gonna just do it here. The all right, Katrina. I thought they said that her last name was doggone. Hold on. Yeah, they ain't look up the right people. Oh, here we go. Katrina S., 17, fatally stabbed Deanna M., 15, on November 17, 2001, and killed herself the next day by taking a large dose of antidepressants. Wow. Yeah, I need to look at this one. Y'all, this is so sad. Okay. Classification homicide. Characteristics juvenile. She was 17. Number of victims 1. Date of murder November 17, 2001. That was a year after my husband was born. Date of birth 1984. Wait a minute. Date of birth 1984. Victim profile Deanne M. 15. Method of murder stabbing with knife. Location Westwood, Los Angeles County, California, USA. Status killed herself the next day by taking a large dose of antidepressant tablets. Man, California is crazy, man. All these deaths, all this stuff going on in California, man. I was almost about to move there. That's crazy that I didn't. Things happen for a reason. Alright, let's keep scrolling. November 17, 2001, Santa Monica, California. Katrina S. fatally stabbed Deanne M., a 15-year-old girl, in the heart at a crowded Westwood party. The next day, S collapsed for being questioned at a West Los Angeles police station and died at the UCLA Medical Center. An autopsy revealed that she had taken an overdose of antidepressant tablets. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read this real quick. Hold on, y'all. This is a more in-depth. Wow. Before I go to sleep at night, I pray for you. I hope I get no time that you'll have to do. I guess that's for the best, but I don't know. I don't know. Alright. So, let's start over. Okay. Classification, homicide. Characteristics, juvenile, 17. Number of victims, 1. Date of murder, November 17, 2001. Date of birth, 1984. Victim profile, Deanna M, 15. Method of murder, stabbing with knife. Location, Westwood, Los Angeles County, California, USA. Status, killed herself the next day by taking a large overdose of antidepressant tablets. Then we jump right into the story. November 17, 2001, Santa Monica, CA. Christina S. fatally stabbed Deanna M., a 15-year-old girl, in the heart at a crowded Westwood party. The next day, S. collapsed while being questioned at a West Los Angeles police station and died at the UCLA Medical Center. An autopsy revealed that she had taken an overdose of antidepressant tablets. Katrina S. On November 17, 2001, 15-year-old Deanna M. was killed senselessly, stabbed to the heart. Her death devastated family and friends alike. She was a popular Santa Monica high school student, a volleyball, water polo, and track star. Deanna had taken the bus with a friend to a party nearby in West Los Angeles. Like many teen parties, the event lacked adult supervision. What began as a small get-together blossomed into a 40-person house party. There was some drinking, and a girl was running in the backyard, and Deanna told her to stop running. Partygoer J.C. Flores recalled. Deanna was trying to keep everything calm and prevent damage to the house. Los Angeles Times, 11/21/01. Deanna always stood up for what was right, recalled friend Julian M. Los Angeles Times, 11/24/01. So none of her friends batted an eye when M confronted a 15-year-old Brentwood girl who apparently had broken 2 backyard flower pots and damaged the stairway railing at the party. And the Brentwood girl called her older sister to complain about being chided. It was 10:30 p.m. when 17-year-old Katrina S. arrived to the party. A fight ensued. Zoe Black recalls Deanna pleading for S. to stop hitting her. While she was pinned to the ground, she said, "Please just listen to my side of the story," several times. Witnesses remembered rising and egging on by onlookers or grieving friends are now asking themselves why someone didn't intervene to stop the fight. Deanna was pummeled, then stabbed. Authorities wondered why other young partygoers loaded the bleeding M into a car and drove her to Santa Monica Hospital instead of dialing 911 and calling paramedics to the scene. Los Angeles Times, 11/21/01. Deanna was pronounced dead at the hospital during police questioning the next day. Katrina lost consciousness. She died later of an alleged drug overdose. Okay, so this is suit settled in slaying at party. Victim's parents reach a deal with the alleged killer's mother. Case against father is voided. by Martha Groves, Los Angeles Times, November 13, 2003. The mother of a 17-year-old girl, a police say killed a Santa Monica High School sophomore at a party 2 years ago, had settled a lawsuit by the victim's parents rather than face a jury trial. Angelique Bearstein's insurance company, Allstate, will pay $300,000 to Harriet to Aja M., which is Deanna's mother, the parents of Deanna. The 15-year-old athlete was fatally stabbed at an unsupervised Westwood party in November 2001. The M's sued Bearstein and her ex-husband S in Santa Monica Superior Court in May of 2002, alleging that the parents should have known that their daughters, Katrina S., was emotionally unstable and dangerous. The day after the party, Katrina took an overdose of a prescription antidepressant, collapsed during LAPD questioning, and was pronounced dead that afternoon. Anthony Michael Glassman, an attorney for the M's, said they plan to continue their effort to bring S to trial. Superior Court Judge Lena L. threw out the suit against him last week, saying he had no opportunity to control his daughter's behavior the evening of November 17, 2001, when Deanna M. was attacked in front of dozens of guests. That's crazy. Glassman said he plans to appeal the dismissal on grounds that S was just as responsible as his ex-wife. Wow. The judge also ruled that Bearstein should stand trial before a jury beginning December 15th, prompting the Bearstein to settle rather than face a trial in front of a jury or an outrageous demand, said Paul V. Ash, her attorney. Allstate will pay the settlement under Bearstein's homeowner's policy. L's ruling portrays Katrina as a troubled adolescent who abused drugs and alcohol. Beginning in 8th grade, the judge wrote the girl began missing classes and having confrontational episodes with other students, which was true. We already seen and heard that in the story, so she did. She had many confrontations with other students. She had a confrontation with her mom plenty of times, you know what I'm saying? She was rebellious. She was on drugs. She was doing alcohol, all types of stuff. So she didn't think that what she was doing was wrong. Court papers said Katrina had also had physical altercations with her mother, which was true. In January 1999, Katrina's parents admitted her to a therapeutic residential school in Utah. She tried to run away. Despite school officials recommended that she stay at least 9 months, her parents took her home on a pass that June and never returned. Which is, I think, when her mother said she don't want her there with no low lives. Okay. Taking lessons from the sadness. Friends said that they have learned from the death of 15-year-old Deanna M., killed during a fight at a party by Martha Groves, Los Angeles Times, April 23, 2002. Perhaps Ryan Natal, all of 15, but captures how friends and family struggle to make sense of the murder of Deanna M. I just wanted to take it as a learning experience, said Natal, a Santa Monica High School classmate who held M in his arms after she was stabbed by a 17-year-old girl at a crowded Westwood party. How tragic, he said, that God had to take someone so great to teach us all a lesson. Okay? Now this session is for the record. Concord High, a story in Tuesday's California section, implied that Katrina S., who fatally stabbed a 15-year-old girl last fall, was once a full-time student at Concord High School in Santa Monica. S., 17, took 2 summer courses at Concord in 1999, but was never a regular student. Such students must pass an interview for admittance, and their academic records are scrutinized, according to Susan Packer Davis, Concord's administrator. Although M was one violent teen death among the many that occurred Each year in California, her killing has generated a remarkable amount of controversy and national media attention. First, there were the girl versus girl aspect. Moreover, the killing occurred on a tree-lined street in an upscale neighborhood. M was known by those I mean, I said closet, closest to her as Lala. Wow, that's sad. And she was never famous. And she was famous for her, what does it say? Prodigious appetite. So it was fitting that her relatives, friends, and teachers gathered last week to celebrate her life with a feast chow mein. Steamed salmon with dill, safety strawberries dipped in chocolate. It would have been her 16th birthday. Aww. Dozens of admirers, young and old, crowded into the M's family's Ocean Park home to reveal the memories of the brainy, fun-loving sophomore. The party goers reminisced over scrapbooks and swapped tales about M's dogged determination, wacky wit, and penchant for treating friends' refrigerators as her own. A lot of kids do that. A strapping 5'6", 150-pound water polo and volleyball player M was stabbed in the heart November 17th. The next day, Katrina S., her killer, collapsed while being questioned at the West Los Angeles police station and died at UCLA Medical Center. An autopsy revealed that she had taken an overdose of antidepressant tablets. Friends of M, who went to the Saturday night party last November, say the stabbing was so swift and unexpected that they had no chance to intervene. Others also tortured by thoughts that they could have stopped a tragedy if only they had been there. Questions. The need to take lessons from the tragedy abound. How did so many unchained kids from Santa Monica High, as well as from some of the area's best private schools, gravitate to the party that night? Why did the party goers urge the girls on? Yeah, they did. Cheering, fight, fight. Why didn't anyone try to stop them? Where were the adults? Yeah, that's where everything went wrong. For real. Excuse me. Everyone's looking for a greater meaning in this, said Harlan W., an attorney representing a girl who some witnesses say had a role in the incident but has not been charged. If it had happened in South Central Los Angeles, nobody would be looking for a greater meaning. Alright, so I'm gonna read this. Then y'all gotta give me a little snack. Give me a second, please. Little second. I'm at. Well, I still gotta look at charging my phone. Alright. So let's get back into it, y'all. Yes, sir. The fallout from the party continues. Oh, recognition Wednesdays. Okay. Another community, okay. The fallout from the party continues. This month, S' younger half sister, who scuffled with M, triggered the fight, was charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of making a criminal threat. The battery charge relates to the allegation that she kicked M, said Sandy Gibbons, and a spokeswoman for the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. The other charge involves a threat made on the internet months after the party. The girl, who is 15, is to be arraigned Friday. As for Katrina S., Deb Hoff, a dean at a private school in Palo Alto, I think that's how you say it, recalls a different girl from the one who had been verified, but whose death, she said, is tragic. It is very tragic. A 15-year-old lost her life really for no reason. The other charge involves a threat made on the internet months. Let me see. After the party. The girl who was 15. Oh, wait, I read that down. Hold on. She was bright. She was a wonderful kid who had a lot going on for herself in her life, said Hoff, who was a dean at Harvard Westlake, where S attended 7th and 8th grade. I know she was struggling and unhappy, but there was a lot to like about her. S. Hoff recalled looked like a woman at 13 and got constant attention from every male on the planet. Her father and mother were divorced, and her mother, Angelique, married Matthew Bernstein, with whom she had another daughter. The Bernsteins later divorced as well. In middle school, S was a textbook case of a girl who needed adults to guide her and set boundaries, Hoff said. Katrina was trying to figure out where she could fit in, she said. Dang, that is sad, y'all. She was trying to fit in. Y'all, I'm over here making a mess. Alright. Let me see. Oh. R.I.P. girl. She was cute. That's sad. She was only 15. I didn't see no picture of Katrina. Deanna. Alright. I got so much going on this table, y'all. It don't make no sense at all.